Nostalgic. I mean, I was 20 last time I was here, and the Sounders were an A-League team, and they didn't have quite what they have now. To see just how far they've grown, and I've grown, and kind of come back. It feels full circle, really.
Does it feel like an appropriate bookmark on your career to a degree?
I think so. I think most would say they probably saw this coming. We've had a special kind of relationship with each other over the years, over the last 3 to 4 years. So it's nice. It feels good, and it just feels right.
Why'd you choose number 9?
I've always worn 9 and 16. Those are my two numbers. You can check my history, and I think 98% of the time, really, that's the only two numbers I've ever worn. I've only worn one other number 1, so it just happened to be open. It wasn't like it was a choice. It just open, and number I've worn before, so they've given me the opportunity to wear it.
What do you kind of remember from 2003 with the Sounders?
Whew. I remember not being old enough to go out. I remember it being an A-League team, known around the city, but not quite the following it has today. And just to see how much they've grown as an organization and what they've been able to achieve, and how the city's been able to embrace them, it's incredible. And to be here and see it firsthand. I was at the home game, and I did the march, match of the march and all that, and it was amazing. Few teams around the world have the kind of support that Seattle has, and I've been fortunate enough to play for some good fan bases in my career, and Seattle definitely is up there with them.
And then kind of with whatever the state of your career was sort of at that point, and then what has played out since.
Yeah, listen, I didn't grow up with much. Opportunities are scarce where I came from. So if you would have told me back then that my career would have played out like this, I probably would have laughed at you. I think it's good to see kind of how we've both grown and what we've been able to achieve. I still feel we could achieve a lot more. The team could achieve a lot more. I can achieve a lot more. But I think that's what we have something in common, is that hunger. So I'm excited to be here. I want to help out in any way I can. For me, it's about getting my feet wet and hitting the ground running in any way I can to help the team.
What's been the message so far from the coaching staff, or what kind of role they see you in?
Yeah, I think Siggy's been very honest with me, and that's all any player can ask for with coaching and management, is just honesty. And he said, come in and work hard if there are opportunities to bring you on, because he knows that could be dangerous in front of goal. If there are opportunities, I'll be there, and if I can work hard and show that there's a place for me, then I'll get an opportunity, and from there it's up to me. And I think that's amazing. That's a great feeling to know that all you have to do is work hard, and it's up to you. So I'm excited to get working. I've never been about talent. I've never been about luxury. I've been about hard work, and through that hard work I've been able to achieve a few things along my career, so I'm excited.
When you tweeted your goodbye to Seattle over the weekend, did you know you'd be coming back, or how did things come together?
I knew. I knew. I like to, social media is fun for me. I think you guys do a really good job of kind of giving your impression of the personality to the athlete, to the fan base, or just in general to people. But you guys are the middleman to me, and why use you when I can tell people who I am, So no misconstrued words. Let people decide for themselves who you are, and I like to interact with the fan base.
Did you have any similar opportunities after you left Toronto, and what was it about this particular opportunity that appealed to you?
If I'm being quite honest, my agent, the situation with Toronto was difficult. I think it was poorly managed. It put me in a situation that was unfair. I think they're great people, but the poor mismanagement in the front office put me in a very hard spot. And when I spoke to my agent, he asked me where I'd potentially want to go, and I knew I wanted to be in the West Coast. And initially I said Seattle, just because I kind of felt like it'd be a great place to come back and to play, hopefully maybe be able to do something, but not knowing there'd be any interest really. And Seattle actually reached out, and it was, I don't want to give too much away, but there was some interest and really not a whole lot of interest elsewhere. So it happened to be just a perfect fit.
And given your career path and how you started here all those years ago, what does Seattle sort of represent for you at this stage in your career?
They've just handed me a lifeline. It's an opportunity for me. I do best when I have a chip on my shoulder. That's how I've done best throughout my career, and I've got a pretty big chip on my shoulder with how things ended in Toronto. And it's not sour grapes, but there's just a way of going about things and a way of treating people. And it wasn't one of the ways I would have done things. So I'm eager to get to work. I have to prove a lot of people wrong. I have to prove that I belong, and I'm excited to do that.
Sure.
Herculez, en este punto de tu carrera y después de una trayectoria tan buena como la tuya, ¿qué significa venir hoy a Seattle?
Bueno, no quiero decir que es como cerrando un ciclo de mi carrera, pero de una manera regresando a este punto de mi carrera, a ver lo que ha construido y ha logrado Seattle, también me da una oportunidad de ver que yo también he construido, logrado cosas, y más que nada se siente como una gran oportunidad para crear una nueva etapa. Estoy ya casi al fin de mi carrera y oportunidades así tan bonitas y tan especiales no llegan todos los días. Entonces, para llegar a una ciudad como Seattle, con un equipo como los Sounders, que tienen una hambre y han logrado hacer grandes cosas a este punto de mi carrera, es una gran oportunidad.
Herculez, hace años estuviste aquí. ¿Qué piensas ahora de esta franquicia? Cuando jugaste con ellos por primera vez, ¿pensaste alguna vez que Seattle Sounders iba a estar en la MLS?
Que iba a estar en la MLS, en ese entonces no pensaba que iba a estar en la MLS, y cómo se puede imaginar uno que iba a tener todo lo que tiene hoy en día. Es impresionante lo que tiene hoy en día con la afición, lo que ha logrado, el ambiente que ha logrado tener aquí en esta ciudad. Es algo muy vibrante, algo muy especial. Muchos equipos alrededor de este continente les gustaría tener lo que tiene esta ciudad, lo que tiene este equipo. Entonces yo creo que ha logrado algo bastante especial, y como te digo, estoy emocionado, más que nada, con muchas ganas de enfrentar este gran reto en mi carrera.
Físicamente, ¿cómo te sientes en lo personal? Herculez en este momento es un jugador para 90 minutos, 70 minutos, más o menos.
Bueno,
¿Dónde estás?
Hice pretemporada con el equipo de Toronto, entonces me siento como que tengo una buena base física, pero paré de entrenar con equipo unas 2-3 semanas, entonces me va a costar un poco ahorita agarrar ritmo, pero me siento bastante bien. Los compañeros son jugadores que saben jugar fútbol, muchos con experiencia internacional, entonces no creo que va a ser un problema entenderse lo que es el fútbol, pero en lo físico me va a costar agarrar ritmo. Pero te digo, tengo unas ganas. Voy a cumplir 34 años en un par de semanas, y me siento como un niño de 20 años ahorita con las ganas que tengo de pisar la cancha y ayudar a este equipo.
Tú que has sido jugador de la selección nacional de Estados Unidos, ¿qué piensas del grupo que está en este momento jugando para eliminatorias por parte de Estados Unidos?
Bueno, es un grupo bastante diferente. Yo creo que Jürgen está haciendo todo lo posible para darle la mejor oportunidad de calificar a la selección. Está integrando jugadores jóvenes que se requiere para esa próxima etapa, porque el 2018 pues está casi aquí en 2 años, pero esos jugadores que tal vez ahorita tienen unos 20 años, 21 años, en el 2018 unos 23 años, tienen esa oportunidad de tener experiencia en juegos internacionales para que el Mundial no sea algo nuevo. Obviamente, jugando un Mundial no hay nada que te pueda preparar para ese momento de esa magnitud, pero yo creo que más y más que se exponen a jugar fútbol a un nivel internacional en condiciones difíciles, lo pronto se van a acostumbrar y estar listos para algo así.
O sea, que te gusta de la manera que tiene Jürgen la selección y para el camino donde va esta eliminatoria.
Yo creo que es difícil, digo, de gustos. Uno no más quiere que gane el equipo, ¿me entiendes? Estilos, cosas así, decisiones técnicas, tácticas se tienen que respetar. Pero si uno pregunta lo que es México, lo que es Estados Unidos, hasta Costa Rica, y uno de afuera, pues es muy fácil decir que hay problemas. Pero adentro, en ese entorno, son cosas bastante distintas. La gente entiende que son cambios necesarios, son cambios que al fin del día son para el bien del equipo, entonces se tiene que respetar.
Gracias.
A ustedes.
After training for about a week now with this group, how do you feel like you're fitting in so far?
It's easy to fit in here. I mean, they're good soccer players. You know, they're good guys. They've been around. It's a very experienced group, and more than anything, just they seem like really good people. And I think that's important. It's what I've noticed about now being in 2 MLS locker rooms. You know, back after a long leave, is the locker rooms are good. You know, there's a good sense of just good human beings, and that's always good. It's always good to be around people like that.
You mentioned coming full circle. Do you feel like this could be your final? This could end up being your final stop?
I don't know. What'd you hear?
I don't know, Garth didn't say anything.
No, you know, I only say it because you get older and you play in different places and you start looking back, and I'm going on 16 years where this has been, you know, a job for me, and thinking about how much longer I keep doing it. And it's not even about the money anymore, because quite honestly I could be anywhere else and probably, you know, it'd be a better situation financially, but it's about wanting to be part of something, wanting to be somewhere that you're comfortable and happy, and I still enjoy coming out and playing. You know, I feel like a little kid right now. I was just telling these guys, I feel like when I was 20 years old and I've got to prove somebody wrong, and I'm hungry for an opportunity. And as long as I feel that way, as long as I feel like I can come out and step on the pitch and it's still fun and I still want to banter with the boys, I'll keep doing it, whether that be 3 months, 6 months, you know, 3 years, 6 years more. So who knows?